Welcome, everybody, to the penultimate race of this year's WMSC season. We're here in Interlagos, Brazil, and the championship is on the line. Well, first of all, let's, as usual, look at the weather situation, which is always a very, very interesting one in Sao Paulo. We expect dry conditions for qualifying, 22 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy, but then in the race, the usual Brazilian weather at that time is throwing a spanner into the works of the drivers here today. Strong winds will shake up the weather, and there might be a bit of rain as well. Still pretty warm temperatures with 22 degrees Celsius. So, the very interesting thing though is the Drivers' Championship because we could see the title decider here today. Yannis Wolborn currently leading ahead of Pascal Polens, his teammate, who has a lot of momentum right now. He's won the last two races and he is within a race win of his teammate points-wise. Lucas Murno, the hometown hero, also with a mathematical chance to still win the championship, but he has to work a lot here today. The simple story is, if Yannis Wolborn wins here today, he is the champion. If Pascal Polens wins or finishes ahead of Yannis, it will all go all the way to Japan next week. Lucas Murno needs to win while Wolborn finishes off the podium to keep his chances alive. There is a lot of in-betweens, of course, though, but we will talk through them as we go because there's a lot of ifs and what happens, when no one of those drivers is competing for the win. Well, let's also look at the Constructors' Championship. Qualifying will start in 2 minutes. Holland Racing Team have got this one in the bag already, but there is also some interesting stuff going on still. There is an interesting fight for P4 between Optiminal Esports, who will be leaving after this season, and Better Julia, who had a big chance to gain on Optiminal last time out, but Daniel Benton-Reader with the DNF could not capitalize on that. Ruben Mescher is back and will try to keep Optiminal in fourth here. And then there is still the big scrap for P6 going on, with every team from 6th to 10th still in the fight for this. Also Kostek, who almost finished on the podium with Axel of Lamb for the very first time. So they're all very much still in it. Qualifying is about to start in a minute. We're still waiting for the green light to fall. We'll join our drivers on a track then. But this gives us now a little bit of an opportunity to talk about some driver changes and confirmations that were received between last race and now. We just got the call from race control that we have the jump to the qualifying session right now. But let's still talk about this. So United Racing Club, the new team, kind of the second team for Vanguard Engineering, so one of the two teams that will be new for next season, have confirmed their driver lineup ahead of this race, which is Aaron Curtis, who makes a comeback. They have been competing in the inaugural WMSC season. They were not here this year, but they will make a comeback with the new team, as well as Dominic Rustemeyer. He has been out for 2 years now. He has done pretty much no sim racing since then, at least in the league, but he will try to get back in the running with United Racing Club, and they expect to fight in the midfield and, of course, gather and gain data and profit from the data that Vanguard Engineering, who have not confirmed their lineup yet, will provide them. So this is a very interesting scenario that we'll see there with two comebackers. Then Scuderia Cesario has also confirmed their lineup ahead of the Brazilian round here. Lucas Murno and Gabriel Peckley. So an all-Brazilian lineup for Cesario. They have picked up Peckley from Potenza Esports, who has had an amazing season this year, pretty much single-handedly carrying this team to currently 6th in the championship. As we talked about already, there's still a lot that can as Lucas Murner will prepare for hopefully another championship charge. And then lastly, Velocita Virtuali has also confirmed their lineup. Jendrik Beerhoff will return alongside Harley Self, who has been driving for Magna Motorsports lately. And you see there, they're all lining up at the end of the pit road. The green light is on now. 15 minutes to try and set the fastest lap time. Oh, there is already some interesting battling going on at the pit exit. And once again, it's the two Holland Racing Team drivers that lead the way. Pascal Polens ahead of Yannis Wolborn, the two main challengers. After the last race, we talked about them because they still seem to have a non-fighting agreement when Polens won ahead of Wolborn. Polens will be very happy with this. This is the maximum he can do. Yannis Wolborn was very happy with second, as he said, well, all he needs to do is finish second all the time and he will win the championship. And there's nothing Pascal Polens can do. That, of course, there is a bit of a risk because there are things that Yannis cannot control, hardware issues. We've seen a lot of them in Watkins Glen 2 weeks ago. Issues with lapped traffic, which Yannis Wolborn has also had his fair share. And of course, the odd mistake that might happen. And we've also seen that from Yannis this year, especially at Spa-Francorchamps and Portimao. Well, we join on board now for Pascal, with Pascal Polens. There's a big moment down the Senna S, who will set the first benchmark time. Let's see how much time this little moment has cost him as he goes through the Ciudad del Lago up towards the technical part of the track here. It is a very short lap, a combination of high speed, because everything from here onwards is just flat out running towards turn 1. But then that middle part of the track is also a very, very technical one. So you need a car that is quite balanced. And once again, Holland Racing Team entering this as the favorites. Wolborn is ahead of Polens for now. They are split by Axel Flam, but we've seen Polens onboard lap. We've seen that it was a bit scruffy, so there surely is more in the car than he has shown now. And Axel Flam continues his strong run of form. He had a very, very disappointing ending to a brilliant race, otherwise brilliant race in Watkins Glen. He was running in third for most of the race, fighting for a podium on merit. As we see Matheus Machado in a special livery for Potenza Esports, celebrating the Brazilian Grand Prix, the home race for both of their drivers. Hopefully it is a good one. The special livery courses do not seem to be so strong in WMSC. You know, few good performances with special liveries, so maybe it bodes them well, as they are very much in the fight and currently in the lead of the fight for P6 in the Constructors' Championship. So the top 3 currently all came in for a fresh set of tyres, make that top 4 because Lucas Murno has come into the pits as well. Philip Puschke is a bit out of sync. He just set his first flying lap in P5, and he still seems to be pushing. Purple in the first sector, 8 thousandths up on Wolborn's quickest time. Let's wait for the middle sector time, which we will get just after this corner, and then see how he's doing. 4 tenths down. It will be an improvement, but of course, with the high downforce philosophy, that middle sector is where Holland gains most of the time. Hugging the inside wall there, and it's up to P2 for Philip Puschke. He is out of the championship fight now, but he still is hunting some good race results, which may just come here. Also, a special livery for Magnum Motorsports in celebration of their Brazilian driver, Fernando Lobau, who's not here yet, so it's just Harley Self for the moment. And also, of course, Scuderia Cesario special Brazilian livery. Lucas Murno is the reason for that. Still in the championship fight, but it is an outside chance. Though, stranger things have happened here at Interlagos, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him fighting at the very top again. He is very excited for this race. And yeah, what a nice livery that is, a Senna tribute. As, oh my word, that is a strong lap time that Janus Wilborn is putting on here. And that surely is going to be a huge improvement. Yes, it is. Not in the final sector, but overall he's now 1 second. A whole second ahead of Pushkin in P2. Lucas Murno up to 4th. Also a good effort so far from Alexander Knazovic. He is close to his teammate this time. Daniel Bantarina, he's also a candidate for some strong qualifying performances. And he is in 8th for now, no improvement there. Mauricio Corsio. People are watching him. He has been disqualified from the last 2 races because of ignoring blue flags or dangerous driving, as a lapped car almost took out Janus Wilborn last race in the chicane. So race control will be watching him, and we will be watching Ruven Meschede. He's here for his penultimate race, or general optimal's penultimate race in the WMSC, trying to once again put on a strong showing, and for now it is, but no one is able to get even remotely close to Wilborn's current lap time. Well, I say that as Pascal Polens crosses the line 2 tenths down on his teammate. So I think this really is the fight that we will be watching. Diogo Meneghetti, who's become sort of the super sub lately, he is back in the Beta Giulia. And sets a lap time that is good enough for 10th. His teammates, in the meantime, made it up to P4. So this is the strong qualifying performance that Benton Reader is able to pull off every now and then. Gabriel Peckley. An improvement up to 11th. His strong suit is rather keeping it clean in the race, which he has done so well for Potenza. And next year then, with Cesario in the top team, he will try to also show that he has some good pace. Philip Puschke up to 3rd. So constantly the lap times are improving right now, as we only have 6 minutes still on the clock. And since their big upgrade package, Holland's racing team seems absolutely untouchable for the rest of the grid. So most likely, once again, it is the fight that we saw last week between Wilborn and Polens. However, in this order, I'll be very surprised if Polens does not attack his teammate. As I said, if Janus wins this one, he is the new and old WMSC champion. If Polens wins this one, it will go all the way to Suzuka next week. Once again, this is looking like an improvement for Yanis, and it definitely is going to be one. The exit out of Yunsao looks good as well. Now it's just the run towards the finish line, and he will be putting even more time between himself and his teammate. We're up to almost 0.6 of a second now. Axel Laflamme had a strong first lap, couldn't improve since then. Quashio running right there, Jinsao. So this is not going to be an improvement now, I'm very sure about this. Machado might be on a personal best here. Fails out of this one, goes for a fresh set of tires. On board with Ruben Meschede, who takes a very wide entry into turn 8. As always, the track limits are judged by the game itself. So penalties will be awarded and lap times will be invalidated by R-Factor 2. So pretty lenient on track limits there, the game. Because this will be another improvement for Ruben that could take him up towards the front row for the moment, which it does. But only for a very, very short period of time, as Pascal Poland once again improves to second. The gap is shrinking again. Now it's just 0.139 seconds. Enter reader. What can he do? Improvement in lap time, but not in position. We are now joining Misha Smith, who is currently in 16th and who is bound to Magnum Motorsports for next year. So let's see what he can do in his final 2 races for the Infernal Void junior team, if you will. First sector, definitely an improvement. This is now where it counts. The technical bits, that is the middle sector. Axel Laflamme up to 4th again. So another very, very good lap time for the Kostek driver, who will be hoping for a better race this time to finally score some points he so much would deserve with his current performances. Misha Smith up to 14th, improves, and is now ahead of Machado and Harley Self. Gino Gijano, Scuderia CM Motorsports, also looking for improvement. Well, at least not an improvement in terms of position. Diogo Meneghetti up to 10th now, though. João Fernando has now joined us, trying to put the special livery for Magnum to good use. Looking very nice, I must say. 14th for the moment. And, well, I guess this... he has one more lap after this one. But, yeah, these will now already be the final laps for everyone that comes through now. Philip Pushka definitely on his final push lap. And he is really pushing the car to the limit there. You're able to see it through the Senna's. Axel Laflamme also on his final lap, looking good in the first sector so far, but this is where it's all won and lost. We'll keep an eye out on Wallborn and Poland, of course, because this is where the fight for pole position is happening. Behind them, it's all very much to play for, and this is a candidate for the second row, definitely. The middle sector is not good enough, though, so I don't think it will be an improvement for Axel Laflamme. The clock just went to 0. Lucas Murno is on an improvement. Axel Laflamme bailed out of it, so no improvement from him. We were expecting that. Now what's it gonna be for Lucas Murno? This is looking good. Could be good enough for third. He would temporarily push Meschede down to fourth then. Exit out of Junzhou looks good. Flat out towards the line, and what is it? It is third for Lucas Murno. Half a second down. Ruven Meschede retakes third just seconds after losing it, and now there is Pascal Polens. It will be an improvement, but it doesn't look good enough. It doesn't look good enough. Polens is in the pits. Wallborn is in the pits, sorry, and Polens improves a bit, but not good enough to take pole position, but it is the expected Holland Racing Team front row lockout. Wallborn this time ahead of Pascal Polens. And I don't think we will see any more improvements. So I guess this is then the provisional starting grid. Of course, there might be penalties. I haven't heard anything from race control yet, though. So Janis Wallborn takes pole ahead of Pascal Polens. Ruben Meschede and Lucas Murno share the second row. Axel Laflamme, once again, very impressive qualifying performance for Kostek. Philip Puschke 6th, Daniel Bentarida 7th, Knezovic 8th. Then it is an all Infernal Voids 5th row. And then we have Diogo Meneghetti, Gino Guggiano, João Fernando, Gabriel Peckley, Matheus Machado, Misha Smith, Harley Self, and Mauricio Quercio rounding up the grid. We will be away for a couple of minutes now before the race starts. But this is one that you definitely should not miss. So stay with us, and we'll be back in around 10 minutes. Welcome back to the penultimate race of our 2024 WMSC season, where we might see the title decider today. We're just minutes away from the race start, and let's go through the starting grid one last time before lights out. It is a Holland Racing Team front row lockout with Woolborn ahead of Pascal Polens. Then Ruben Meschede and Lucas Murno, the third title challenger in row 2. Axel Flam once again a stunning qualifying performance for Kostek in 5th, Philip Puschke in 6th. Daniel Bentonrida once again strong qualifying effort for Better Julia in 7th, ahead of Alexander Kazovic in 8th. Then Kativo and B, Diogo Meneghetti filling in for Better Julia in 11th, Gino Gugiano 12th, João Fernando 13th, Gabriel Peckley 14th, Mateus Machado 15th, Misha Smith starts from P16 in the Sol Velocita today, Harley Self and Mauricio Curcio on the 9th and final row of the grid. The race should start any minute now, as we are just catching the final seconds of warm-up. Let me get you back on the championship fight situation. As we said, starting this stream, if Janis Woolborn wins this one, he is the champion today. If Pascal Polens wins or finishes ahead of his teammate, he will take the fight to the final race. In Japan, Lucas Murno needs to do a bit more. He definitely pretty much needs to win this one, while Woolborn finishes P4 or lower to stay in the championship fight for the season finale. There's a lot of ifs and buts, but we'll go through them as they go racing. The weather might play its part as well. Strong winds and, well, a chance of rain. And I think here in the last seconds of warm-up, we may even see a bit of rain there. So there's a bit of moisture on the track. This could throw another spanner in the works for our championship top 3. And then there is, of course, Ruben Meschede, who wants to finish this season on a high and, bring himself in a position for a good drive next year. He hopes to fight in the championship once again. This year he has been plagued by poor reliability of the car and his internet connection largely at the beginning of the season, so he missed a lot of races there. Still, he managed to win in Portugal, round 10. And when he has finished a race, he always stood on the podium this year, so if he finishes, we expect him in the top 3 once again. Oh, I just had words from race control. The grid might look a bit differently because there were a lot of penalties awarded because people escaped the race without race control allowing it in the last race. We've discussed this on stream. The rules are, if you retire, you have to stay out on the track and have to wait for the go to retire and escape from the session from race control. A lot of people have not done that. We have 6 drivers with 3 place grid penalties. So yeah, the starting grid might look a bit different than what I've just told you. However, it should still be the same for our main contenders today. So Woolborn, Polens, Meschede, Murno, Puschke, they all should start where they qualified. And we're currently waiting for all the drivers to line up on the grid. I think Philip Puschke is one benefiting from some penalties. Axel Flam might receive one because he escaped from the session without the go from race control. As here are the 5 red lights. And we are racing in Brazil, and it looks like a good getaway from... Oh, there is already a car in the wall. That was one of the Potenzas. This Wallborn stays in the race lead. A bit of a moment, bit of a slide there for Ruben Meschede down the centers. All sorts of kerfuffle going on in the background. I think Daniel Benton-Rieder made it up to 4th. And already the HRTs absolutely flying away at the front. Some battle there between the two Cesarios. Murno stayed ahead of Knezovic. Axel Flam down in 8th. He received the 3-place grid penalty. You've seen that and talked about it. Oh, he runs right, and I think there was an infernal void bound towards the wall. In the background, you were able to see it there. Once again, their pole lag continues. Gonzalez Cativo had a spin there. He's on the intermediates. We've seen that the track is wet in the end of the warm-up session there. So we see lots of sliding there. Very chaotic early stages of the race. Yannis Wallborn, if this is true, is out on the medium tire. I don't know. Well, it seems like this is the case. This is actually the case. Okay, so Pushka, he's done in 17th. Also had a moment there at the start, presumably. He seems to be on the mediums as well. Okay, now it has refreshed and it also shows Wallborn on the inters. But Pushka, as much as he's struggling, I very much believe that he's actually on the mediums, and I think that is the case. Well, he tried something different. It seems to not have worked out, but Ruben Meschede is right back at the rear wing of Pascal Polens. We saw these two getting away at the start, but he is caught up very quickly. Murno also back in 4th. This position had temporarily been owned by Daniel Benton-Rieder. Katibo in the pits, so no surprises there. Misha Smith, he might also have been tangled up in a starting incident. Oh dear, the weather already making this a very, very interesting one. And as we see most drivers... Oh, let's look at the start first again. So, Philip Pushka on the mediums. And Philip Pushka also has received a drive-through penalty for causing... Yeah, for the starting incident. And I think... it's a shame there's not much he can do. He's just sliding around there on the mediums, but this was... And also, Matheus Machado has received a drive-through penalty for an incident with Diogo Meneghetti. Well, as I was saying, not much that Pushka was able to do there, but he definitely caused that chaos by starting on the mediums. That was way too ambitious. Talking about ambitious, Alexander Knezovic having a little look there against Daniel Benton-Rieder. So, as I was saying, as now everyone is running on the intermediates, Pushka currently in the pit serving his drive-through, they won't be obliged to use 2 different sets of compounds should the track dry out. I'll try to have a look at the conditions as well. Currently it says rain is at 15%, so some light drizzle currently going on. But what we can also see as Axel Flam has a big slide out of Jinsao, and that allows Victor B through. And this is very interesting for the fight on the lower positions. In the Constructors' Championship, Infernal Void and Kostek very much in there. And in the background, I think Gabriel Packley is having a look down the inside of... No, actually, that is João Fernando against Gino Gagiano. I got that wrong. And Fernando really putting the pressure on. It looked like he had DRS there, but I don't think it is enabled in these conditions. So maybe just some minor glitch in the game, as we've seen. when it said that Woolborn had started this race on mediums. And this is now a very, very interesting battle. And Axel Laflamme trying to get back into 7th against Victor B. Oh, this is so... Oh, no, 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 no. He just made contact with them. Into the rear he goes. Mauricio Quercia has just served his drive-through penalty and has just received another one because he didn't follow the race director's rules in terms of entering the pits. Now, we haven't seen that, but I might imagine there is a penalty going in Axel Laflamme's way as well, or at least he might be asked to let Victor B through again because he kind of punted him out of the way there. I don't think it was anything malicious. It's just very, very difficult running in these conditions that I don't think are improving. Rain is increasing currently. We're now at 30%. And this is what happened with Quercia. Oh, yeah, okay, that is quite obvious. And in the meantime, these two got away from Reuven again. And we haven't seen them properly fight it out on track, I think, ever. They always had a non-fighting agreement. I think they gave us a little bit of a show fight at Road America last year, when everything was in the bag for them. And I just got confirmation from race control. Axel Laflamme, and this has just happened, lets Victor B through because of that incident. So this is just as we predicted. Axel Laflamme back in 8th, and he will try to do that again, but this time in a cleaner manner. And I think this is some good stewarding there. No unnecessary penalties if you can just resolve it like that. Gino Guggiano still battling with João Fernando. And now there's lots of spray peeking out behind these cars. And this really, you can visibly see it, that the conditions are getting worse at the moment. The track is getting wetter. Very early into the race, it looked like there was almost a dry line forming on the racing line already, but this is very far away from a dry line. Ooh, and once again, I think this is the same corner where Laflamme ran into the rear wing of Victor B. And talking about these two, they are battling it out still in the infield, where you usually would not see many overtakes. But in the rain, everything is possible. And you can really see how much quicker Axel Laflamme is able to go once he is released by Victor B. Rain is up to 50% now, according to my timing screen, as Axel Laflamme down the inside on the Senez, and now he is through. And this looked very cleanly indeed. So let's see how fast he's able to go. Can he even catch up to Knezovic ahead of him, who is not battling Bentorina as intensely anymore? There is a second of a gap between them. Gabriel Peckley trying to make it past Harley Self on the Retro Posta. That worked. There may even have been a bit of contact between these two. Harley Self loses it at the exit. Oh my word, I think he just avoided the wall there by inches, by mere inches. So a good catch from him there. But that was a very, very scary moment. I see Gino Guggiano in the pits, and Paul Muller is pointing that out in the chat as well. May he be trying forwards? I think from just what we can see, it might be worth a shot because conditions are getting worse and worse. And indeed, blue wall tires for Gaggiano. These are the wets. Guercio is trying the same. And he has crashed at the pit exit, lost his front wing. Oh, this will be a very slow lap for him now, as he has to make just another pit stop after this one. Oh, now he needs to stay out of the way of anyone. Axel Flam, his teammate, is just coming through. Oh dear. Couldn't even slow it down there for the Interlagos. And João Fernando is already looking for his next victim, Victor B, in 8th. He's caught up very, very quickly, so these conditions seem to really suit him. Rain levels have stayed the same for the last few minutes. I'm currently watching Gaggiano's lap times, but I don't think he has done a flying lap so far. The last lap that I see for him is a 1:47.0, which is the lap that he has pitted on. Machado working his way by Guercio, who goes off the track. Maybe involuntarily, but anyway, he gets out of the way nicely. Some weaving there between Machado and Meneghetti. And Jogo might try and get a move done into the centers. Who's late on the brakes? It is Machado. So he's in 12th. And Gino Gaggiano has just set his first proper lap on the wets. It's a 1:29.5. In comparison, the drivers around him, Philip Puschke behind on the Inters, has just set a 1:27.7. Ahead of him, Diogo Meneghetti, 1:30.2. So no big inroads right now by Gaggiano on the wets. But this can change at any moment. At least he's not much slower than those on the Inters, but this now really depends on how does the weather develop. If the rain keeps on increasing, then he has made the absolute right call. If it gets better, then he will need to stop again for a set of Inters. Right now, it seems to be pretty level. Oh, SB has dropped down badly, and it seems like he's in the wall there. But we've seen that João Fernando was just behind him a couple of minutes ago. Will be interesting. Oh yeah, there is the replay. So what has happened? Is this on his own account, or had Fernando something to do with it? Oh, it's just... yeah, he left the racing line there and just lost the car, but this is not what we've seen then. There must have been another thing. Oh, on the throttle, loses it again, and there is a bit of contact with the Armco. So, two separate incidents for Victor B, who is in the pits now, and I could imagine that... Oh no, he's retiring after all. So, the poor luck for Infernal Void continues, as once again, it is a driver out of this race. We've also seen an incident for Misha Smith early on. Gonzalez Cativo, well, he's also been in the wall and in the pits already, so it just doesn't get any better this season for Paul Müller and his two teams. What a shame. And this is Benton Reader versus Knezovic. This has been going on for quite some time. But still, Kneze has not found a way past Benton Reader. It's not the first time these two do battle. They've given us some entertaining races this year already. And you can really see in these onboard pictures how careful you have to be on the throttle. Rain is up to 100%, and this is good news for Gino Gaggiano, who still the timing sheet's alive on his wets. But as the rain intensity increases, this might just fall in his way. Mauricio Quashio has also just retired from this race. Once again an afternoon to forget for the second Kostek. The first one though, running in 7th on course for 2 points. There he is, Axel Laflamme. Behind him, I think this is a lapped car. This is Misha Smith by the looks of it, who's a lap down. João Fernando. He's been really quick in these conditions. Let's see if he can catch up to the Kostek. And this is a very, very interesting battle for the Constructors' Championship as well. Kostek currently in 10th on 4 points. Magnum Motorsports is on 9 points. It would just be 1 point different, but these 2 points for Kostek could take them ahead of Velocita Virtuale, as you can just see there. So Axel Laflamme is on a mission here, and he will try to stay in that 7th position, as once again we watch the battle for 5th, which is probably the most interesting one we have on track right now, as Poland seems to just stay behind his teammate for the moment. And there is Knezovic down the inside. Through the center as they go. They leave each other the space. Ooh, I may have jinxed that. There is a bit of contact. They were very, very close down the hill. Now what do we make of that? I think they will each appoint blame to each other. Surely Race Direction will have a look at it as we watch Gino Gaggiano on the full wets, and Pushka and Smith have followed his example. Diego Meneghetti might do just the same as he is in the pits. And once again, I have a quick glance at the left times, and so Gaggiano's last lap time is 1:34.1 ahead of Harley Selves' last lap time on the he has a little moment there as well. Harley Selves' last lap time is a 1:33.1, so almost a second quicker than Gino still on the Inters. So right now, this, I don't know if this is the right call. They're struggling on the Inters, but so is Gino on the wets. As here is now Meneghetti behind Matheus Machado. And it seems like Meneghetti still is on the Inters. And Machado, who is also on the Inters. So they actually haven't gone for a new set of wets. As there now is Gabriel Peckley. Let's see what is his tire choice. Harley Self following him into the pits. And let's see what the color of this tires is once it passes us. And I think, yeah, This is just a new set of intermediates. So they're all deciding to go for a fresh set of inters. Ooh, big moment there down the hill for Peckley. This is a long pit stop for Harley Self. And what tires has he gone for? This also looks like a fresh set of inters, yeah. So this seems to be the prime choice for most of them, as Philip Pushka just passes Gonzalez Cativo. Rain is decreasing again in intensity. We're down to 50%. Philip Pushka, well, he's done everything. He's been on slicks, he's been on inters, he is on wets now. And at the moment, for him, it is working a bit better. He is the fastest car on track, actually. Philip Pushka's last lap time was a 1:28 flat. Wilborn and Poland's are just doing 1:29.5 or 1:29.8 respectively. So he is over a second quicker than the very fastest guys on the inters. And I do wonder, as we've now seen many guys in the pits, if the drivers at the top will decide to go for a fresh set of rubber now, or if they're still kind of on the fence waiting how this develops. For now, Philip Pushka, fastest car on track. The only issue is he's down in 13th. Between Meneghetti, Gagiano and Machado, there seems to be a 3-car battle right now for P10. This is not for points. Only the top 8 of the WMSC are awarded points at the end of the race. And the car that Gagiano is currently gaining on is Pascal Polens in second, in the background there. Ranjin Sao, you were able to see Gagiano. He's really gaining on them, a second a lap. Gagiano in the pits. Is this him trying to get rid of the wets back onto the inters? It hasn't worked out for him, so he might just well do that. And I think he has just done that. Yes, intermediates now for Gino Gagiano. The experiment has failed for him. But Pushka is working fine. But still, Rain is at 50%. Let's see if this is enough for the track to dry. Currently there is no sign of that happening. So as long as it stays like that, Philip Pushka has no need to pit. Though the lap times are now getting closer together again. 1:28.9 for Pushka on the last lap, 1:29.2 for Yannis Wilborn. So he's just 0.3 faster. And there is Harley Self making it past Gonzalez Cativo, who just had a moment there, came off the track. Oh, and now they're still carrying on their battle. Harley Self made contact with the wall there. And you can just see how difficult it is. Oh, weaving there by Cativo. And I think, oh, has Harley Self lost his front wing? I think he does. Yes, he's missing a front wing. And that is a shame. So this is another pit stop for Harley Self now. As we now see Philip Pushka right at the back of the two HRTs. But how does he play this now? If he wants to continue driving at his pace, he needs to pass them and unlap himself. But we've seen this going wrong at this track before. Don't think he wants to interfere with the championship fight. Now into last race he had theoretical chances of still winning the championship. Pushka's been one of the most consistent drivers in the WMSC. Before Watkins Glen, he was on a run of 8 consecutive podium finishes. Today, a lot of things have to happen for him to finish on the podium, let alone the points. But I think points are very much still a possibility. Harley Self has retired and so has Misha Smith. So we saw Self making contact with the wall, losing his front wing. He came in then, and this is where he retired. Misha Smith has done the same. Super Parkers told us in the chat that Misha Smith has been feeling a bit under the weather today, so this is maybe also a consequence of it. Get well soon, Misha. Hope to see you again next week in Japan. Hopefully a better afternoon. Axel Laflamme is still having a good afternoon here. I just think commentators go strong with this one. I think he's just left the track there. But he has been gaining on Knežević lately. Before that little off moment that he had, he was under 2 seconds away from Knežević in 6th, and right ahead of Knežević is Benton Reader. We've seen them battle throughout this race. Currently, Knežević has dropped back a bit, but this might be the next battle that we can look forward to. As Axel Laflamme is trying to pull Gabriel Peckley single-handedly, improving the championship position for Kostec. Philip Pushka, in the meantime, is past Mateus Machado, up to 11th. He's dropped back from the HRTs for the moment now. Rain intensity is further decreasing right now. 30% is what the data tells me. We don't see a big difference in terms of track wetness. Philip Pushka is still the fastest man right now. Impressively, João Fernando's last lap in 8th was as quick as the lap time of the two HRTs. Oh, there, and once again we've been told by Max in the chat that Misha Smith has stopped on track and escaped from there, which is not allowed, and which saw 6 drivers get a 3-place grid drop for this race. So Misha Smith will get another penalty in Japan, most likely. And these two are still very close together, but there hasn't been a single attempt by Pascal Polens to try and pass his teammate. But as they run right now, Yannis Wilborn is the new and old WMSC champion. The gap is 9 points currently in the championship. If Pascal Polens passes Wilborn and wins this race, he could bring that gap down to 7 points, which still is a healthy cushion into the final race for Janis Wilborn. As we get a replay, Misha Smith, I think this is how he retired. Cedar del Lago, spin into the wall, and this is then where he just retired. Yeah. So I think slam dunk grid penalty there for Misha Smith. And yet another reprimand by race control. Weather update, rain is now at 15%, track still very wet, but there's not as much rain falling as it has been for the last couple of minutes. So maybe we see an improvement in track conditions at one point later this race. So this is all pretty much guessing. As is when or if Pascal Polens will ever try to make a move on his teammate. And now this looks like pretty much a waiting game. Maybe they had an agreement again that whoever leads this race after turn 1 is going to win it, but I can't imagine Pascal Polens, if he has the chance for a championship, to agree to that kind of shenanigans. If I were Pascal Polens, I would try to go for it. In the meantime, Lucas Murno is in the pit lane for what I assume is a fresh set of intermediates. He is currently exiting pits in the Senna Tribute livery. And where does he come out? In 5th, behind Benton Reeder, but ahead of Knezovic, who now has been caught by Axel Laflamme. We've been talking about this earlier, and now here is the battle that we've been waiting for. Currently, these would be 2 points for Kostek, which would take them ahead of Velocita Virtuali. And now Axel Laflamme can see all of the cars running ahead of him up until P4. Well, this is a bit of extra motivation for the driver that only learned about this championship in the summer break, joined immediately after. Impressed in qualifying from the get-go, and 2 weeks ago in Watkins Glen, he was on course for a podium, or at least a very, very strong finish, and a big load of points. Meshed is in the pits also probably for a fresh set of inters, and Knezovic bails out of that fight, goes for a fresh set of inters, and let's see what Axel Laflamme's response is. He was going quicker than Kneze before he pitted, but still, very much, it is a game of chicken with the throttle. He almost lost it there. But he is doing alright, him. So, Meshede still came out ahead of Murno. Murno's passed Benton on track. Missed that while watching Axel Laflamme. And Knezovic has come... he's just behind João Fernando, which is not ideal for him, but very good news for Axel Laflamme, who might be able to benefit from Knezovic being held up. And this is another interesting fight that I would not have expected, but now Murno is very close to Meshuda after both of their pit stops. Ren is down to 5%. And in the background, another car into the pits. Who was that? I think it might have been Benton Reader. Yes, it was. Axel Flam responds to Knezovic's pit stop. So lap 25, this is where the top guys have come in. Top guys minus Holland Racing Team. They're still out on the inters that they've started the race with. Everyone else now has pitted for a fresh set of intermediates. Quick update also on Philip Pushke, who's still doing 129.5s on his wets. He hasn't pitted for inters yet, but again now his lap times are a lot slower than what these guys are able to do on the inters. So the momentum has switched towards the inters, and this is Axel Flam versus Knezovic and Benton Reader, and Knezovic the undercut has worked brilliantly. He is ahead of Benton Reader now, and he remained ahead of Axel Laflamme. Didn't work on track, it did very much work in the pits for Knezovic, who is struggling to find a way past Benton Reader, and is now in what will be 5th. João Fernando, I see, has also pitted once already, so he might be even there on merit. He was in the pits earlier, so his inters might not be in the best state anymore. 10 laps old is what the data tells me, and this is Laflamme breezing past Benton Reader and up to 7th. Benton Reader has a little look. Too far away though. And Knezovic and Laflamme's battle now resumes where they left it before their pit stops. But still, visibility must be pretty poor now in these cars still. And Yannis Wilborn from the race lead is now in the pits for another set of intermediates. Can Poland take advantage of this? Philip Pushke also in the pits, and I guess this is also for a set of inters because he's been slowing down lately on the wets. There he is. Inters coming on, as expected. And back out for Philip Pushke. Pascal Polens, I think he will respond this lap. Although rain is now at 0%. And this might be a brilliant opportunity for Pascal Polens. No new rain falling right now. And this is now a matter of the question, how quickly does this track dry? If you're Pascal Polens, do you come into the pits for inters now? Or do you stay out? Goodness me! Gonzalez Cativo has crashed at the pit entry. We have a safety car. And Pascal Polens has taken the race lead. And now this will be very interesting. The rain has stopped, as I said earlier. But now this is also a big advantage for Polens gone with the safety car. He could have stayed out, wait until the track dries out, switch onto the slicks, and gain the position that way. Oh, and that is a big accident for Gonzalez Cativo. And, well, very glad he managed to at least get off the racing line there and into the pit entry. Well, the pit is not closed. as far as I can tell. They only said careful, the pit entry. This is what I got from race control. So maybe there still is an opportunity. If Pascal Polan's pits now on the safety car, there is a chance. Now, where is Woolborn? I don't know where Woolborn is. He will lose much more than that one position, probably. I don't see Yannis anywhere. So there is Yannis, just 2 corners behind Pascal Polans. I don't think this is enough. What does he do? He comes in. Oh dear. And he might lose out big time now. Yannis Woolborn is just passing the pit lane now, retaking the lead. Ruven Meschede, I think, will also pass Pascal Polans. No, Meschede is in the pits. So we are Meneghetti and Machado. So nothing lost for Polans. He stays in second. Because Meschede is also hitting. And what is... Oh! These are super softs. Ruven Meschede is playing it very, very risky. Now the rain has stopped, but oh dear. This is too early. This is way too early, I'm pretty sure. For Polans, this safety car came just at the wrong time. He might have had a chance to go onto the slicks immediately. But now he had to go for another set of inters because he would have just lost out too much at the restart and his advantage was completely gone. And at this pace, I think Meschede will struggle to keep up with Woolborn, who effectively is the safety car. Well, you see them out of them, but even at those low speeds, Ruven is struggling to keep the car pointing in the right direction. Murno moved up to third. And there's a fifth, LaFlamme sixth. So that would be now 3 points for Kostek. Now Fernando used the opportunity to come in for a second time. Philip Pushka somehow is now up in 10th. There is just no way this works for Ruven. Look at the spray. The track is just way too wet. So we just got the call from race control. Kitivo's been asked to retire the car. And that means that now at any moment the race could restart. We haven't got the call safety car in this lap. We're still waiting for that. And lap cars are now asked to unlap themselves, so yeah, I completely forgot about that. Pushka, Machado, Meneghetti and Gino Gagiano are now asked to unlap themselves. This is good news for Ruven Meschede, because that means yet another lap of safety car running. And hopefully the track drying out. Well, you can see there is sort of a dry line of the racing line, but it's still far away from dry. From the data that I have, it says track wetness 0 to 60%. I don't really see the 0, but maybe there is a dry patch somewhere on the bridge or so. But this is wetter than we had it at the start of this race. And this is where it's all gone wrong for Philipp Puschke. And the cars around Mesha, they really need to take it very carefully at that restart, because you can really see it. Even at these speeds, Reuven's car is twitching. And here on the start-finish straight, there is water everywhere. On the other hand, Reuven has got nothing to lose. He's just trying to have a good end to this season. Optimal also trying to end this one on a high. They're only entering one car today. Paolo Villami, the second driver, could not make it this afternoon. We're still waiting on the call for safety car in this lap. We're still waiting for the formerly lapped cars are trying to get round again. Axel Flam has just received the last warning for... I don't know what, but he has received a final warning. Maybe he's been a bit too aggressive, trying to go alongside Knezovic ahead of him. And now look at that, it looks even like the sun's coming out. I think more good fortune for Reuven Meschede, as I don't think we will restart this lap, this race, this lap. We've got no call. We're still waiting for Machado, Meneghetti and Gigiano to catch the end of the safety car queue. They have done so now. There is Gigiano. He's just there or thereabouts. And I think next lap we will get the call. Reuven bails out of it. He is going for another set of intermediates. I suppose João Fernando also in, Gabriel Peckley in, Puschke in, Machado in. So we just got the call safety car in this lap. Reuven Meschede is going for another set of softs. I think he is, and more cars going for the slicks in the background. I think everyone that pitted behind Reuven is going for a new set of slicks, except João Fernando. That's true. Philipp Puschke is back on the mediums. And I think this is now actually, this might be a very good call, because now he is not in the middle of intermediate cars who may have an advantage right at the restart. But I don't think we're too far away from slick conditions now. There is a dry line. I think the plan behind Meshede's second stop there was just to get out of the way of the intermediate cars who will have an advantage now. But I don't think this advantage will last for more than 2 or 3 laps. So then he would be the lead car with the slicks. So this race may just have been turned upside down. Let's wait. When does Yannis Wolborn pull the trigger on the restart? Ranjan Sal they go. And I think now he's gone for it, and Poland's managed to stay with him. And this is very important for Poland's Mano in third. Remember, he is also... Oh, Poland is going for it! Pascal Poland has taken the race leads. No big defense there by Yannis Wolborn. Poland is now leading. Wolborn still very close to them. Let's watch the slick shot drivers. They are taking it cautiously. They are dropping down right now, but as I said, I think in 2 laps time they might be on an advantage. Mano putting Wolborn under pressure. Now João Fernando has received a drive-through penalty for not following the race director's instructions when entering the pits. What a shame. He's currently in 8th, and he is in 2nd of those that have pitted for slicks. Let's watch. When do the intermediate drivers pit for slicks? Or is it even worth doing that right now? No new rain falling right now. They're still getting away. Meschede has lost 6 seconds on Benton Reader alone this lap, and there is still lots of spray kicking up. Poland's fastest lap, 120.1. Benton Reader has just passed Knezovic. Benton Reader really liking these conditions, as it seems. Hackley past Fernando. Fernando in the pits for his drive-through. This is an amazing opportunity for Magnum. Unfortunately, down the toilet, and that was some clumsy driving there with Benton Reader and Knezovic. And I am afraid that is on Benton Reader. I mean, Knezovic was alongside him and right at the edge of the track. There's nowhere he could have gone. Race direction will definitely have a look at this. Axel Laflamme is up to 4th in the Costec. Let's look at the lap times once they cross the line now, because this is interesting to judge whether the slicks or the intermediates are the superior tyre, and I think we are right at the crossover point. Let's wait for confirmation in terms of lap times. Pascal Poland's last lap time, 1:19.7. Now what is Ruben Meschede able to do? Coming around the final corner, he is. His last lap was 1:28.2, so definitely not quick enough. This one is a 1:23.8, so still 4 seconds slower than Poland's at the top. But I think next lap the story might look differently. And we just had word from race control, 10-second time penalty for Daniel Benton Reader for pushing another car off the track, and I think I fully agree with that decision. That was just clumsy. Knezovic was alongside him and he just continued to go right. Pascal Poland into the pits for slicks. Wolborn, fastest lap, 1:19.4. What is Ruben Meschede doing on the super soft slicks? Is this the crossover point already? And it is a 1:20.3, so it's just a second slower now. So I think this might just be the sweet spot that Pascal Poland's hit, because I'm pretty sure that the next lap time that Ruben Meschede sets will be faster than the intermediate lap times. Pascal Poland crawling out of the pits there on fresh mediums. Meschede passed him, Peckley passed him, which means Gabriel Peckley is in second. If the others pit now. Incredible. Philip Puschke also back in this race. Diogo Meneghetti has just retired. He came into the pits. He's now listed as a DNF. I haven't seen what happened to him. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, there is a car off in the background. That is an SCMM, and I think that is Gino Gagiano. He's lost his front wing. Needs to stay out of the way of anyone right now. And Janis Warborn into the pits. And now this all depends on the outlap of Pascal Polens. He is stuck behind Gabriel Peckley, so this is bad news for him. This might be a silver lining there for Janis Warborn. They're just on the start-finish straight right now. Pascal Polens is trying to pass Gabriel Peckley for what will be P2. Benton Reed is in the pits. Everyone on the Inters is in the pits, but I think Janis Warborn will come out ahead of Pascal Polens. He is. I think that lap behind Gabriel Peckley is what cost Polens dearly. And Warborn is on the super softs compared to Polens medium. So it is now a battle. It just is a strategic one. Lucas Murno is still out there on the Inters, the last car that is using them. And all of a sudden, Ruben Meschede will be leading this race by 8.3 seconds. I need to apologize to Ruben. His call was actually brilliant. And I think we now see how Diogo Meneghetti retired from this race. We saw him coming into the pits, and I think he just stops and retires there. Yeah. Maybe some damage from earlier. Lucas Murno, I think this is his championship chances now gone. The last slim chance that he had, though he hasn't lost too much. He's now also behind Peckley, and he's now with both of their Senna Brazilian tribute liveries, very, very similar looking cars, the Cesario and the Potenza. And immediately Murno muscles past Gabriel Peckley. Warborn is already reeling him Ruben Meschede. And this is what happened to Gagiano. We saw him without a front wing earlier. Oh, yeah, that is quite the bad crash. And I think that has done more than just losing his front wing. There might be some suspension damage there as well. Ruben Meschede, fastest lap once. Oh, there is a big accident. And that is Daniel Benton-Reeder in the wall. And I think this might well be another safety car. It is yet another safety car. Huge accident by Daniel Benton-Reeder. I think this is the same corner where it happened to Gonzalez Cativo that caused the first safety car. Just up the hill on towards the start-finish line. We're waiting on a replay. And that is all of the advantage gone for Ruben Meschede. But again, this will be a very interesting restart, because this time there is an Optiminal with nothing to lose there. That will definitely not make it easy for these HRTs that are in a battle of their own. Puschke is in fourth now. And so, Reuven into the pits again. This is his 4th pit stop. Now, what's his plan this time? I will never doubt him again. He was absolutely spot on with his call for the slicks. So I guess it's just a fresh set of softs. Wilborn has retaken the lead. Is Meshada splitting the 2 HRTs now? Oh, this is very close at the pit exit. Meshada has split the 2 championship rivals. Pushki is up in 4th. Murner has been into the pits. Axel Laflamme 5th. Gabriel Peckley has received a penalty. He is currently in the pits. I haven't heard from race control, so this may just be speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear. Chaos. And this is now the crash of Daniel Benton Reader. He has already lost his front wing. Oh, that is actually... Was that Gino Giugiano? I think Gino was involved in that one. Yep. And it is a drive-through penalty for Gino Giugiano for causing that accident. But somewhere Benton Reader must have already lost his front wing. He was already missing that before the contact with Giugiano. So maybe that was also Giugiano unaware that Benton Reader was missing a front wing, questioning why he was taking it so slow, and then that resulted in contact. And I think this is where Benton Reader lost the front wing. A spin... Ooh. That was already heavy contact with the wall. So that explains why he was missing a front wing already. And now let's take a look at the running order again. Wilborn back in the race lead on pretty fresh super softs. Then it is Reuven Meshede. Very fresh super softs. He's just pitted from the race lead when the safety car was called. Pascal Polens is in 3rd. Mediums. He switched onto them a couple of laps ago after the safety car restart. Philip Puschke was in the pits during the earlier safety car and is on mediums. Axel Laflamme also has been in the pits after the first safety car and is on mediums. And then Murno, Peckley, Machado, Knezovic, João Fernando, and Gino Giugiano, they're all on mediums. So only the first 2 on super softs. Gino Giugiano has been asked to on lap. I think Gabriel Peckley has just served his penalty without losing any position. He's still in 7th. There goes Gino. The sun is out. So we are expecting this track to dry up even further. But again, we were told ahead of this race, very changeable conditions, heavy winds, so who knows? We still have just under 30 laps to go, and a lot of stuff might still happen. We're just past the halfway point a couple of laps, so lots of things can happen. But at the moment, everything is going according to plan for Jannes Wilborn. But he will be worrying about that Optimal Esports car behind him. Because Reuven absolutely has nothing to lose. And he has made some ambitious calls this race, which have worked. So he is all in to win this one. And this could yet be another big afternoon for Kostek if Axel or Flam can finish this one. 5 currently, that would be 4 points for Kostek. Fifth is also their best result in WMSC history. Philip Thekela finished in that position. In Canada, another chaotic race with changeable conditions then. And these are currently Kostek's only 4 points they ever scored in WMSC. La Flamme could double this afternoon. And as their nearest rivals are all out of this race or out of the points, this finish could elevate them to 9th, just 1 point behind Magnum Motorsports. João Fernando is still in this race. He's been running in 8th for a long time. He can still finish in the points. We got the cold safety car in this lap already. So, as Gino Guggiano catches the back of the safety car queue, we are about to go racing once more. And this is a new one. Johannes Woolborn has a new challenger behind him. Ruven Meschede and Gino Guggiano has just received yet another penalty. I didn't hear from race control. Is this track limits then? Disappointing afternoon for Gino, one way or another. But we are now fully focusing on the restart. Both HRTs weaving. Ruven Meschede in true Kimi Räikkönen style, not caring about any weaving at all, just waiting for Woolborn to pull the trigger, and he is leaving it very late this time. Very, very late. As they are approaching the line, there is some car in the pit lane. Poland is already alongside Meschede. Very, very late restart. Murno, big move down the inside there. But they all remain in their position where they were ahead of the restart. I think it's Guggiano serving his penalty, and look how close Ruven Meschede is into the Ciudad del Lago. We don't know how long these tires last. Maybe everyone from Poland's down. They're on mediums. They might try and get to the end. I'm pretty sure that Woolborn and Meschede will have to stop again with their sets of super softs. So this might be another strategic element that we have to consider in the final stages of the race that we are about to start in a couple of laps. So for now, it's Woolborn pulling away. Ruven Meschede is still inside his DRS window, and we've learned how effective, how efficient DRS is in these cars. So you can really stay with an opponent as long as you're in their DRS window. If you fall out of it, we've seen drivers tumbling down then. But look at that. Meschede was almost out of the DRS window, and at the end of the Retro Posta, Axel Laflamme is past Philip Puschke and up to 4th. Incredible. We've completely missed that while I was talking about DRS and stuff. Axel Laflamme is impressing further. Oh, Lucas Murno made contact with Philip Puschke in the background. That was way too ambitious. He is round, and he is dropping down to 8th now, behind his teammate. Oh, that was too ambitious. That was never going to work for Lucas Murno, and he's really struggling now. Massive weaving. Off the track he goes. And now he needs to recollect himself. As Johannes Woolborn is really putting the hammer down. 1:11.7. By far the fastest lap that we've seen all day. Well, technically not all day. We had qualified today as well, so all race long. And still, this battle is carrying on. Remember, Axel Laflamme has no confirmed drive for next year, but I think someone should go and pick him up. Kostek, by the way, I completely forgot at the start of this stream, they are looking for a buyer. Apparently, it seems like they already have one in place. So, yeah, the team is currently for sale. Is Axel Laflamme part of this package? We don't know, but Axel Laflamme, ever since he joined, has been continuously impressing everyone. And maybe, hopefully, today is the day where he finally scores some points. So he has something to show for. Ruben Mescheder has dropped out of the DRS window. Pascal Poland's also out of Mescheder's DRS windows. They were very close together earlier. I wonder what happened there. And in the background, Philip Puschke is very close to Laflamme. He's going for it. Laflamme defends the inside. Puschke goes round the outside. Very good move. Great execution. And Puschke back into fourth. Bit of drifting there by Philip as he tries to get away from Axel Laflamme to prevent him from attacking him on the main straight. That did not work. He still will have DRS this lap. And then let's see if there is the immediate counter-attack as Wilborn continues to set fastest lap after fastest lap. Laflamme hasn't really gained anything there in the DRS zone. On another chance. Oh, there was a short yellow in sector 1. I wonder what's happened there. Has Murno been dropping down again? No, he's still where he was. Oh, indeed! Murno is missing a rear wing and... Oh, he spun round, and I think this is now goodbye to the remotest chance that he still had on staying in the title fights. And this is now a big issue for him. Because that also means that his impressive run of form with... Oh, now I need to do the maths. Let's first look at the replay. Murno out of the center as he just lost it on the curb. Rearwards into the Armco, and yeah, that's rear wing gone. So Murno is on an impressive run of 26 points finishes in a row. He had a big crash at Watkins Glen. He recovered from there, and yeah, even finished on the podium back then. So, briefly it looked like this run of form was going to end, but it didn't. Let's see if he can recover today as well. João Fernando is putting the pressure on Alexander Knežević. And this is also very important for the Constructors' Championship. With the 2 points that João would gain for P7, they would pass Infernal Void for P7 in the Constructors' Championship. Both Infernals are already out of this race, so they can't respond to that. João Fernando, best placed Brazilian in his home race, just ahead of Gabriel Peckley. So he joined very late today in qualifying, but this has worked quite well for him. Behind him, 2 more Brazilians in Peckley and Machado. That would be 1 point currently for Potenza, which puts them on 15 total. Magnum, if they finish as they run right now, would stand on 11 points. So this could also be an interesting battle that goes all the way to the end in Japan. This is also an important response by Magnum, because currently it looks like Axel Laflamme is getting 4 points for Kostek. But we will need to worry about this at the end of the race, because right now this is way too many ifs in there. And we still have this man who is now a lap down. Oh, he's a lap down on P10. So this is now a very tough ask. I think Lucas Murno at this point needs another safety car to have any chance of scoring a point here today. The track is now completely dry, as you can see. So that also makes mistakes a bit more unlikely. He just had that spin at the completely wrong time. And once again, one cannot praise Axel Laflamme enough. He is doing an incredible job as he is sticking with Philipp Puschke. Philipp Puschke, one of the most talented drivers in the WMSC, one of the most consistent and fastest drivers, one of the championship contenders until last race, and Axel Laflamme is staying with him in a Kostek, a car that has only finished in the points once so far. And do keep in mind that Woolborn and Meschede may need to pit again on their super softs. But, look at that, he is really there. He was almost nudging Puschke around the corner. This time he looks pretty close on the longest DRS zone. He can open his rear wing now, so there might even be a chance this time into the center S. Axel Laflamme stays behind for the moment. He will get another opportunity on the retro poster. This is where he was very, very close of a lap before. And I think he forces Puschke to a defensive move round the outside. He's sticking with him. It's just not enough room. I think overtaking round the outsides is just not working in this corner. Or you need to be fully alongside and ahead as Philipp Puschke was when he passed Axel there. Park in the chat. Axel Laflamme can win this race. Heard it here first. Well, I will buy you an ice cream for next year if that actually happens. Heard it here first. Again, super close. On the retro poster, this time he chooses the inside line. He's just not alongside though. As I'm still glancing at the lap times of those guys at the top, because I expect the super softs to drop off at some point. I don't know if that is the case yet, but the last lap times from Wilborn on the super softs and Pascal Poland's on the mediums were equal. Actually, Poland's a bit quicker, 1:11.27 for Wilborn, 1:11.205 for Pascal Poland. So the gaps are remaining as they were, which is not good news. Could Poland be able to go to the end on the mediums and Wilborn have to pit on the super softs? And I think this battle here will continue all the way to the end. Late attempt there by Laflamme. Oh dear. Janis Wilborn's lap times are not looking as impressive anymore. Now Measured is quicker than him. 1:11.4 last lap for Janis Wilborn. 1:11.1 for Ruben Measured. 1:11 flat for Pascal Poland. So, if they continue at this rate, they will be very close together. However, I see outlap for both Ruben Measured and Pascal Poland, which means they had a track limit breach somewhere. Usually it does mean that. Oh, as now Axel Laflamme into the center as is having a little look. This is where he hasn't tried it so far, because he was always too far away there. The Reto Posta is where he was really close. And this time he's even closer. He's almost alongside as they enter the straight line. Now Pushka once again early towards the inside. Side by side they go through there. Pushka leaves him just enough room on the outside. Very, very nice racing by both of them there. Very clean racing. But Pushka stays ahead. As they cross the line now, it's just 15 laps to go. Do the super softs hold on to the end? Philip Pushka makes his way into the pits for another pit stop. And now what tires is he going for? This may, of course, change the whole story yet again if everyone has to pit. Super softs going on for the SCMM. Knezovic passed. João Fernando passed. Hackley and Gagiano most likely will pass him as well. Maybe close with Gagiano. There he is. I think he may just lift for his teammate, so Pushka stays ahead of his teammate. Now let's watch what lap times Pushka will be able to do on a fresh set of Super Soft. So we have a bit of a comparison with Wilborn's and Measured's lap times. As yet again, they are all pretty much level, the top three. 1:11.1 for Wilborn, 1:11.2 for Measured, and 1:11.3 for Pascal Poland. Pushka effortlessly goes past Gabriel Peckley. I mean, we might already be past the point of no return. Because I wonder if Pushka is even quick enough to catch back up to Axel Laflamme before the end of this race. Well, we have to wait for the end of this lap to see what Pushka's lap times are. As we return for the battle of the race lead. Ruben Meschede just set his personal best on the last lap, once again gaining 2/10 on Yannis Walborn. Then again, it's all ebb and flow. Filip Puška 1:10.6, but this is just a bit more than a second quicker than Axel Flam's last lap, and there is just 12 more laps to go as they will cross the line now. So I don't think this is enough at the current rate for Puška to catch back up to Axel Flam. Also, Pascal Poland is not making any big inroads on the two cars ahead of him. And he really needs to do that right now, because this is Yannis Walborn's championship at this point. Oh, this should be another easy move for Filip Puška, past João Fernando. Yeah, no issue whatsoever, and Filip Puška is up into 6th. Next car is Alexander Knežević, and then it is almost more than 18 seconds to Axel Flam, with whom he has been battling earlier. And again, there is not too many laps left. Axel Flam's last lap time was 1:11.8. Filip Puška's last lap time 1:10.6. That's not good enough. It is really, really quick and close to yet another fastest lap, but still, it is not good enough at this rate. Again, that should be an easy move for Filip Puška. He can open the rear wing now. He's gaining. No defense from Knežević. That is not a battle for him to fight. And now, Filip Puška has 11 laps to gain 18.5 seconds to Axel Flam, and then also pass him. Now this is the battle for the final point scoring position between Gino Giugiano and Gabriel Peckley. And Peckley will try his dearest to hold on to that position. Because as I said, they don't want to be put under pressure by Magnum Motorsports, who would be gaining 2 points. And then would stand at 11 compared to Potenza's 14, 15 if Peckley manages to stay in 8th. Giugiano will have DRS this time around. Let's see how much he's gaining. Quite a lot, but it may just not be enough. He's late on the brakes, down the inside he goes, and he passes Gabriel Peckley. Now that's Potenza out of the points for the moment. He may have the opportunity for a counter-attack down the Reto Posta. Doesn't happen though. Once again, we watch Philipp Puschke on his quest to catch Axel Laflamme. It is now 14.5 seconds in 9 laps. Still, this is a very tough ask. Lap time comparison. Oh, Axel Laflamme's last lap was not a very good one. 112.1 compared to 110.6. So he might have made a little mistake somewhere, because that is not up to the standard of lap time that Axel Laflamme was able to do earlier. So still, this could be a very close finish in the end. At the moment, Philipp Puschke is really consistently pushing out 110.6 laps, by far the quickest on track. In comparison to Janis Wohlbott and Ruven Meschede, they're both around 111.3 is what they're currently doing, which also is not much slower than Pascal Polens. In fact, it is the same level that Pascal Polens is able to do in terms of lap time. This lap Puschke gained another second. It's another fastest lap by Philipp Puschke. At the same time though, Axel Laflamme has just set a personal best. 110.611. This is what Philipp Puschke was able to do. And Axel Laflamme did a 111.4. This is the same lap time, around the same lap time, that those top 3 are currently doing. So Axel Laflamme still pushing hard to cling on to that P4 and the 5 points that come with it. Gabriel Peckley is still just behind Gino Gagiano. We saw the overtake live. Gino is not able to get away from that Potenza. Yeah, I agree, Super Park in the chat. I don't think Wohlbott and Meschede will stop again, which is, I think it's quite surprising. I was almost certain that those on the Super Softs will need to stop again, but again, we didn't saw any dry tire running before in the race, before the rain. They all started on the Inters. Lucas Murno is in the pits. And now, why is this the case? Is he retiring or is he going for a fastest lap? I think he is going for the fastest lap. Super soft tires on. There is a fastest lap competition as well. And there is a cash prize on offer. So Lucas Murno might still try and go for that one. So the driver who ever sets the fastest laps, or most fastest laps across one season, wins an additional cash prize. Currently, that prize is also going to Janis Wohlbott as it stands. Gino has just made it out of the DRS window of Gabriel Peckley. So he has now properly cleared him. And I think Philipp Puschke has given up. 11.6 seconds still the gap, only 5 laps remaining. I don't think he will catch Axel Laflamme, so this was not the right call for him to pit from 4th, give up track position and then try to reel Laflamme in the end. That did not work. And still, there is also no sign of the tires falling off a cliff for Wilborn and Measham. So at the moment, this pretty much seems like a done deal. The only thing there's a battle for is for the final point scoring position, because Peckley has caught up to Gagiano again. They get under 1 second. And there he is, Reto Postam. As we just see Lucas Murno on his attempt to set the fastest lap of the race, and I think he will absolutely crush that one. He does, 1:10.3. But that, I think, is little consolidation for Lucas Murno on his home race. He's currently running in 11th, far outside of the points. And yeah, an impressive run across 2 seasons is coming to an end this afternoon. Lucas Murno, who has finished in the points in every WMSC race, bar 2. His the very first 2 ones in Australia and South Africa last year. This is where he last finished outside of the points. Ever since, always in the top 8. No matter if in the Infernal Void or the Cesario this year. But this is his first non-point scoring results in South Africa last year. His compatriot Gabriel Peckley is still trying to make this another afternoon where he scores a point, and he has just achieved that by default. Gino Gagiano, half a spin. Peckley says thank you very much, and he will now just try and keep Gagiano out of his pit DRS window. Lucas Murno in the pits again. Is this for another set of super softs for yet another attempt, or is he now finally retiring? Lucas Murno, this is now the absolute confirmation, has retired from his home Grand Prix and therefore ends his run of 26 consecutive points finishes. Filiposhka still pushing hard, but it's no use. He won't catch up to Axel Offlam. I think the running order right now is also the order in which we will finish this race. The last on-track battle has just been decided in favor of Gabriel Peckley. I'm pretty sure of that. 18 drivers started this race, just 10 will finish it. Janis Wilborn will now just be seconds away from starting the final lap of this race, and it will be the lap that takes him to his second WMSC championship back-to-back, and it is well deserved. It is always good if the driver that wins the championship is the driver that won the most races. He's also ending his longest winless run this season. 3 races in a row he hasn't won. But the one where he will win the championship is the one that is ending that negative streak. I'd say negative streak. He finished second last time round. And there he is now on his final lap. It will be his 7th race win this year. And it will be the sweetest one this year, because He has fended off a lot of competition. Earlier this year, it really was Lucas Murno who is pushing him to the absolute limit. Lucas Murno who challenged him for a couple of wins that most of the time went to him. Only that one time in Spa. He didn't win it. Yannis Wilborn is coming around the final corner to not only win the race in Interlagos, he is winning the WMSC 2024 Championship. Congratulations to Yannis Wilborn, the new and old WMSC Championship. So, congratulations to him. Hollands just passed him there on track. Reuven Meschede impressively managed to split the HRTs. Interesting strategy choices by him, managed to do that. Pascal Polens finishes third. He will be pretty disappointed by that. And Axel Laflamme, congratulations to well-deserved P4. Kostek's best finish ever. And 5 points in the books. And this is the man of the moment. Yannis Wilborn. 7th race win. Impressive run of form early this year. It may look easy, it may look boring if you just look at the stats. Out of the first 6 races, he has won 5 of them, but he had to fight hard for every single one of them. So there really is no doubt that he is a deserving champion in WMSC 2024. Congratulations once again, as he's now making his way on to the grid. Will we see a few celebratory donuts again? I think we will. Yes, there they are. Yannis Wilborn celebrating his 2nd WMSC championship in style, and he will carry that number 1 next year as well, as we're just waiting for the top 3 of this race for a quick round of interviews. But for now, we've just to wait for Yannis finishing his celebrations. So there he is, the old and new champion, as we are now joined by the top 3 of this race. Yannis, first, up to you. Congratulations on your 2nd WMSC championship. Congratulations on the race win today. Talk us through it from your point of view.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a tough and long one. Yeah, especially the rain extended the race a bit, but yeah, I'm very happy at the moment.
With the first safety car period, were you surprised by Reuven's move onto the slicks, and was this something you also considered?
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't think it was possible to drive the slick tire, but after like 2 or 3 laps, was it? I guess the tire was drivable, and then Pascal switched onto the medium, and then I soft.
Was it always clear to you that the soft would last to the end of this race when you stopped onto them?
Yeah, if it stayed dry, I think I would have done a 1 stop. Also with like 30 laps on the soft maybe, and yeah, when it was wet, then you usually don't have the wear from what you would have in the dry.
So yeah, how are you now approaching this last race? Is it just about trying to have fun, or trying to win your 8th one of the season in Japan?
Yeah, let's try 8.
So once again, congratulations to Yannis Wilborn, our race and championship winner today. Now over to you, Reuven. What a race, full of ups and downs. And first of all, I need to apologize to you because I was questioning your choice to switch onto the super softs in the first safety car period. Did you think that this would work out this way?
It was just an all or nothing move. If it worked, you saw what happened, that I was leading. Then I don't know if it was the right thing to do to pit stop again for fresh super soft, but I think so, because otherwise I would have been too slow, as I didn't have the wing adjusted to properly dry conditions. But yeah, this was, I think pace wise I couldn't have been second today, because the HRT guys were in quali like 5 tenths ahead. And I think this strategy gave me the opportunity to fight for the win even today.
Your decision to stop a second time in the first safety car period, what was the thinking behind that? Because you were already on the super softs. Was it just to get out of the way of the intermediate runners because you knew they would have an advantage in the first 2 laps after the restart?
Yeah, exactly. The risk of crashing while cars were behind with so much quicker tires was too big for me, so I just decided to adjust the wing settings again on the pit stop to make it more understeery so I don't spin out, and just to have more room for myself and just to drive safer, which worked in the end.
So yeah, thank you very much, and congratulations to yet another podium, and for making this race quite the exciting one. Yeah, that was really appreciated.
No worries.
So Pascal, over to you. In your final stint, you decided to go for the mediums. Did you think that Yannis and Ruben had to pit again?
I didn't necessarily thought that they would pit again, but yeah, I didn't expect another safety car, which lasted for like 6 laps. And yeah, that was basically a done deal after that. That I was, yeah, on the wrong end with my medium tires.
I thought during the race that you were maybe even a bit unlucky with the timing of the first safety car.
Yeah,
was
I
your
thought so
plan? Was your plan to go to the slicks immediately and try to leave out that one stop onto another set of inters?
If the safety car didn't were call out, I think I would have extended the intermediate stint. And also with the safety car, it was just announced after I've passed the pit entry. So everyone behind me could catch up and I couldn't do anything. So yeah, I think that's maybe something to look into it for the future, for the race direction, that they maybe call out the safety car after I've finished the start-finish line, so I keep my gap to the guys behind and still have the chance to pit without losing any positions.
So, what is your goal now for next year? You are now out of the championship fight. Will you try and attack next year again? And did you have an agreement before the race? Because I was wondering, because it didn't seem like you were attacking all throughout the first stint.
Well, first of all, I think that I will fight again for the championship next year. And yeah, for the first stint, there was no point in attacking each other because we were just way quicker than everyone behind. And with no intervention, maybe we would have fought in the last like 10 laps when everything else would have been set. But yeah, as it was today, it wouldn't make any sense to fight earlier in the race.
So still, congratulations on the championship challenge and the P3 today. So,
thank you.
Let's maybe quickly have a look at the race results very quickly again, because we kind of missed that today. I'll try to just get them up my screen. So it is Yannis Wilborn who wins ahead of Ruben Mesheder, Pascal Polens, Axel Laflamme. Philip Puschke finishes 5th with a late race pit stop that didn't pay off the way he wanted to. Alexander Knezovic 6th. João Fernandes 7th, Gabriel Peckley 8th, scores the final point, and then Gino Gagiano, Matheus Machado, the final 2 drivers that finished this race. Lucas Murno, fastest lap, but ultimately a DNF, and also did not finish were Daniel Bantonriga, Diego Meneghetti, Gonzalez Cativo, Misha Smith, Harley Self, Victor B, and Mauricio Quercio. That has been it for today's WMSC race, but there is one more coming up. And with all of the championships decided, it will still be very interesting to watch what is happening in the fight for P6 in the Constructors' Championship And well, it generally should be an amazing race because we're going to go racing at Suzuka exactly next week. We will start the stream 2 hours earlier then, so keep that in mind. But yeah, hopefully we'll be together with Ash then. And yeah, I hope to see you all next time as we go racing for one final time this year in the WMSC. Thank you for watching and goodbye.